So, Des, it's great to finally have the Premier League back.
Yeah, it was touch and go, a bit worrying at times, but hailed the German league, to be honest, because I think that was that's a catalyst to say, oh, it can be done. And then the French league sort of like cried off early, and the Dutch. But I really think both leagues are probably looking and thinking we may have jumped the gun too soon. Yeah, I know lives matter. COVID's still going on, and that's the most important part and element of it. But by God, the money behind the Premier League and what it would have been dealt with if it was cancelled altogether. So thank God, it's all back and running, and the tests and things like that, and it's fantastic. Where over 1,000 tests and only 3 coming back. So every club has really played their part in making sure sanitize everything and so forth, and it's great that it's back, albeit that we've had some interesting results already. A few dour games, or games where you wouldn't think would 0-0, i.e., if you go to Championship, West Brom and Blues and things. But I think by and large, it's great. It'll be back. Great to be back, and it's quite funny that Liverpool are going to win it, but if this was a closer Premier League race, by God, it would be interesting without the fans at Anfield and so forth.
Certainly would. And of course, from a local perspective, Aston Villa at the forefront of the return of football, the first game played in the Premier League on
the first controversy.
There were no people, but there was plenty of controversy.
Yes.
We'll get on to what happened in the game at the moment, but the image at the start of every single person involved in the game taking the knee, that was powerful stuff, wasn't
it? It was. Combined with the NHS and things, it's really has kicked on with his Black Lives Matter and so forth, and it's a great touch with all the jerseys with no names on the back.
No names on the back,
and Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, they all said Black Lives Matter. Yeah, they did. That's true.
Yeah.
And we get onto the controversy now, the goal that never was, and or you're kneeling the Villa goalkeeper, Chris Wilder, the Sheffield United manager, said he was practically in the hole 10, and that's that's a fact. There's no two ways about that. A lucky moment for Villa. Some were saying it's a bit hypocritical of Dean Smith and Villa to not then allow Sheffield United to score a goal, given what happened at Leeds United in the Championship at the back end of last season. They say the circumstances are different, and to be quite honest, technology has arguably cost Villa a lot of points so far this season. So
I no blame with Dean Smith. If you're being purist, you could say hypocritical, but I agree. The circumstances are different.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things. There's been some stupidness about playing the game again and things like that. And, it might cost, that 1 point might cost Sheffield United Europe and things like that. Yes, it was a massive, massive error. And I'm not going to say these things equal themselves out, but it happens. You can go back in time of these things, but it happens. It's just one of those things. It's, good luck for Villa. Bad luck for Sheffield United, but it's one of those things. Egg on the face for VAR, and not so much the referee, because the referee can only go by the watch. To be fair, but it's just one of those things.
The common sense aspect, and we're always calling for it in football. The common sense. My team got away with it, so I probably shouldn't be complaining too much. But if I'm the referee, and a lot of people involved in the incident have seen it, and they think this has gone over the line. Okay, my watch hasn't gone off, but surely, and for the benefit of the video now, I'm wearing headphones, isn't the obvious thing just to point to the earpiece and say to the lads at Stockley Park, could you have a look at that for me? Because there's talk that could be close, but VAR just didn't feel the need to intervene at all. And we've been calling for this technology for almost decades, it seems. And goal line technology has been fine up to this point. I thought VAR was fine in the World Cup, but the way it's been handled in the Premier League has been shocking, really. And it's just to do two things as far as I'm concerned. One is to protect the incompetence of the officials, and two, to kill everybody's fun, really, because they're looking for reasons not to award goals and not to award decisions based on whatever evidence they think they've got on television. I think Chris Wilder, again, who I mentioned earlier, the manager of Sheffield United, made a great point. Earlier in the season, they took 10 minutes when they were at Tottenham to decide that a Sheffield United player's toe was marginally offside. Yeah. But they can't look at this, for which clearly seems to be over the line. It's just the inconsistency is terrible, isn't it?
I get the point in terms of it's never happened. As soon as goal line technology, as soon as the goal goes in or it's over the line, there's usually a beep on the referee's watch and bang, it's a goal. So I kind of get where he thinks it can't be a goal because it didn't beep, so we'll carry on. But then, as you say, VAR are there, they're watching the game. So all it takes for them to say, you know what, don't know why it never beeped, but that looks like a goal. Can you just stop the game and take a look at that?
It's
so
simple.
as you said, for them not to get involved at all, our hands, we won't, it is farcical.
They do it in rugby. It's not a problem in rugby, is it? A lot of the time the referee has got a microphone on him, so the crowd can hear what the referee's saying. You probably couldn't do that in football because of the language that would be involved. Yeah. But, can you have a look at that for me, please? I think there might be a try down here, or a player's foot might have been in touch. So could you just double check it for me, please? That's all they need to say. Yeah. They don't need to be, VAR aren't looking at it. Okay, we'll just go with that. Keep the control of the game with the referee.
Yeah.
Let the referee decide if VAR should intervene, is my personal view about that. And that probably will come over the next season or two, but I think we just have to get this season out the way now, even with no people in the stadiums. And do you think Villa are going to do it? Do you think they're going to stay up? You can be honest, okay? We've known each other a long time, okay? I won't be offended.
I didn't see the whole game, but I was with a gentleman I worked with who was a diehard Sheffield United fan. And he said, judging by that game, that if Villa play like that to the end of the season, he can't see them not staying up.
Well, that'll do for me. I have my doubts. Doubts.
He was quite impressed with them.
I have my doubts. I just don't think we're going to score enough goals. But
okay, here's a question for you then. Whether they stay up or not. In fact, I'll tell you what. Here's a question: Villa stay up? Does Grealish stay?
First of all, Mr. Kiffin, this is my show, and I ask the questions. Secondly, this will not be popular amongst Villa supporters. I would take the money come hell or high water. I would say I would play hardball over the price. If it's going to be Manchester United, yes, it's going to be 70, 80, 90, 100 million. We know what the silly prices are these days. And that money will do one of two things. It will either strengthen the squad to go for a second season in the Premier League, or it will plug that huge financial hole if they go down. And I think ultimately, long term, it's a win-win situation. Yeah. And as I say, I've never been one in a popular. We used to do a show on a Monday afternoon here on Switch Radio. I always said what I thought, even if it was not necessarily popular. I think that's what they're going to do. The question for me is, if they stay up, does Dean Smith stay? Do they keep Dean Smith? I think that's another question as well, because I think if they stay up, I think they'll want to move forward with a more experienced Premier League manager. But that's just my view.
I mean, there's been rumblings. Every fan's a fickle. I think Villa fans are behind Dean Smith because he's a diehard Villa fan. But there's been a few rumblings that is he out of his depth? Is he just a Championship manager? And the money he's spent, has he spent it wisely? Wise after, we're all wise after the fact. If they were comfortable in mid-table, people wouldn't be saying this. Is he out of his depth? Don't know if he's out of his depth, but it's a learning curve.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we need to be careful as well from a consistency point of view. I know it's going back a lot of years, but when we did our show on a Monday afternoon, he was the Walsall manager, and we sung his praises every single week, it seems, when he was at Walsall. So the Ginger Mourinho, they called him back then. So that's fine. Des, mate, I'm so pleased we got you on the show, and
it's a pleasure. Anytime I see you calling, I'll always answer the phone.
Top man.
On a side thing, and I'll say it now, you're doing fantastic things for Switch. It's great that you're back there. You're like the Dirty Den walking out the shower. Not Dirty Den, Patrick Ewing walking out the shower.
Dallas.
Was it Patrick or Bobby Ewing? Dallas walking out the shower.
I don't know, but that you were always good for clips. I'll give you that. Des Kiffin, it's been an absolute joy having you back.
It's a pleasure, Ben, to hear from you.
We will do this again.
Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing for Switch.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.